Hi there everybody, it's Martin Twycross here with another video short. In today's video I want to talk about animals and pets in spirit. So I want to talk about, do animals go to the spirit world? Will you be reunited with your pets in spirit? And can your pets communicate through a medium? Those are a few of the areas I want to cover in this video. So if you're interested in videos like this, do hit the subscribe button. Okay, so in this video today I want to talk about animals in the spirit world. So the first question I want to answer is, do animals go to the spirit world? Now I do know a few mediums and a few teachers who say that only human souls go to the spirit world. Animal souls do not. So once your animal passes, that's it. Once your animal passes, it's final. But for me, that doesn't seem right. For me, I believe in a spirit world where there are animals. I know there are animals in the spirit world. I don't want to say too much because I'll give away the whole rest of the video, won't I? But I know animals exist in the spirit world. Absolutely. Your animals do go to the spirit world. Animals do go to the spirit world. And if we look at our 7 principles of spiritualism, one of the principles is the continuous existence of the human soul. And I think this is where a few people get confused, because they hear the word human soul and assume that animals are somehow different and will not go to the spirit world. But if we look at how that principle originally came through Emma Hardinge Britain when it was first brought through, it came through as the immortality of the soul and its personal characteristics. The immortality of the soul and its personal characteristics. And that doesn't speak solely of human souls. For me, it speaks of the soul of all life, all animals. So the immortality of animals and their personal characteristics. So I know that your animals do indeed survive physical death, and your animals do go to the spirit world. They exist in spirit, they survive. That's important to know, because if any of you have lost an animal, then you want to know it exists, it continues on, it lives on. Absolutely. And another question people ask is it only pets that survive, or is it all animals? For me, it's all animals. It can't be just your pets, because it can't be just those animals that have been shown human love and affection that survive. I believe that all animals survive. And we've been told by the spirit world that they go to a different plane of existence. They exist on a different level of existence from the humans. And even as humans, we exist on different levels within the spirit world, depending upon our spiritual development. So animals live and exist on a slightly different plane, but we are able to interact with them. We are able to be with them. And if you're the kind of person who would love to have gone on safari in this life, but never got a chance to do so, or never been able to afford it, and you'd love to go and see lions and giraffes and zebras and hippos and rhinos, the good news is they still exist in the spirit world. You can still have your safari in the spirit world. That's possible. So it's not just the pets that survive, it's all animals that survive. It's important to recognize that. And people ask me, will I be able to be reunited with my pets in spirit? Will I be able to share time with them again? And the answer is absolutely you will. You will. Where there are those bonds of love and affection between people or animals, you can be together again. You will be drawn back together by those bonds of love and affection. So absolutely you will be. So don't worry about that at all. You will. And some people say, well, I had a dog. I love my dog, but my dog wasn't particularly affectionate towards me, or my cat didn't really show me any affection. So because they didn't show me affection, does that still mean we can share time together and be together in spirit? And the answer is yes. Your love for that animal is sufficient to draw it close to you. And you'll probably find that that animal does have some degree of affection or fondness for you, even if it wasn't totally able to express it to you. Just like people in this world don't always express their emotions, don't always express their affection for the people. It's often there, it might be a bit buried or a little bit deeper, but it's there. And I'm sure it's the same with animals. So absolutely, if you love an animal, that animal can be reunited with you. And some people say, well, I've had multiple dogs, or I had many, many cats. Can I be with all of them, or do I have to pick and choose? Do I have to choose my favourite dog or dogs to be with, but I can't be with all of them? Even if I've had 10 dogs throughout my life, do I have to choose the ones I spend time with? And the simple answer is you can spend time with all of them. You can be with all of them. Whether that's collectively or individually, you can spend time with them. You can have them around you. You don't have to pick or choose. It's important to recognize that. You don't have to pick or choose. And you can spend time with all of them even though it doesn't feel to them that you're spending time with all of them. Now I know that sounds odd, but Spirit have said to us that we can be in more than one place at once when we're in the spirit world. And we can be sharing the company of more than one person at once in the spirit world, even though to that person it may only seem that they're in our company. So you can be sharing time with multiple of your animals at the same time, even though the animal will only perceive that you are sharing time with it. So I hope I haven't confused you too much there with that. So another question people ask is, what will happen to my pet when it passes? And for the number of years that it exists in spirit before I pass, what's going to happen to it? Especially if there's nobody that I know who could look after it. If there's nobody I know who liked pets. If there's nobody that I know in the spirit world who knew my pets. Will the pet still be all right? Will the pet still be looked after? And the answer is absolutely. Your pet is freed from physical needs. Your pet no longer has to be fed or watered or taken for walks. Your pet no longer has vet bills, vaccines. It doesn't have to have its fur cut. None of that. That's all of the physical. That's all of the earth. In the spirit world, that doesn't exist. Your pet exists as a consciousness, as a mind, as a soul, as a spirit. So the physical needs are not part of the equation anymore. Your animal, we know, exists on a level where it has free will to express itself, where it has free will to roam and be happy. So your animal will automatically be happy anyway, even if there was nobody else able to interact with it who you know. I'm sure there are many in the spirit world who love animals, who will want to be interacting with animals in the spirit world anyway. I know that. But if you have any friends or family who love the animal or who had affection for that animal, they too can spend time with your animal. They can be around your animal. And I'm sure they would want to be. So rest assured that your animal is well looked after in the spirit world. Some people say that I've lost my dog, my cat, whatever pet it is, and at times I feel as if the animal's close to me or nuzzling up against me or around my feet. Is that the case? Could it be around me? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Just as your loved ones can draw close to you on the earth plane, even if you don't necessarily feel it or sense it, because to feel or sense it, you have to develop a degree of sensitivity or have a degree of innate sensitivity to feel or sense. But your animals will still be around you if they love you. They will still want to make their presence known, regardless of whether you're able to pick that up. So if you do sense your animal around you, then yes, they are there. Accept they're there, welcome that they're there, and enjoy that they're there. Now some people say, well, if all animals survive in the spirit world, what about those animals that I may not want to meet again? The wasps I've killed, the mosquitoes I killed. I had an infestation of ants in my house and I killed a whole stack of ants. When I get to the spirit world, will I be attacked by mosquitoes, wasps, ants, and various other animals that I've had to kill in my life? And the answer is no. That's not going to happen. No need to be worried about being struck by a swarm of wasps. If you haven't had affection or a bond of love with that animal, then the animal's not drawn back towards you. It exists, but it exists in a different plane, and you've not got to worry about it. Even if you just dispatched it to the spirit world, again, it won't bear a grudge or want to harm you in any way. It's important to recognize that. So one of the main things that people who have lost animals, their pets, want to know is, can my animal communicate through a medium? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Your animal can communicate through a medium. And I myself have brought through many, many animals from the spirit world. Many dogs, many cats, birds, budgerigars, parrots, cockatoos. I brought through snakes even. And I've even had horses. And one occasion I had a rabbit on a lead that someone used to take out like a dog, but it was a rabbit on a lead. And so your pets are totally able to communicate through the mind of a medium. And mediums will bring through animals routinely. Many mediums do, myself included. So One thing we do have to understand though is that the mind of an animal is different from the mind of a person. We are humans with a human mind, human consciousness. An animal has a different mind, a different consciousness, a more limited consciousness. So the type of communication an animal can bring forward will be different from the type of communication that a human will bring forward from the spirit world. So don't expect an animal from the spirit world to be bringing forward your name, your date of birth, your address. That's unlikely. That's not the kind of information an animal would likely bring forward. But an animal can bring forward information about itself, its personality, the things it liked, the things it didn't like. It can bring information about its relationship with you. It can bring information about the times you spent together, the affection you had for each other. It can bring through a limited message as well, but it's not going to bring forward complex advice about your career or your love life. So don't expect that from the mind of an animal, but definitely your animal can come forward. It can be there. It can bring information forward. It can bring information about its health. It can bring information about its life. It can bring information about its personality. All of that is easily possible to be brought through from the animal. And people have asked me the question, does somebody need to bring the animal through from the spirit world? Can the animal come by itself of its own accord? Or does somebody in spirit need to physically get that animal and bring it through during a communication with a medium? And both are possible, but different scenarios, you'll get different things. So for sittings, if you're the only person in the room with a medium, if you go for a sitting with a medium, it's highly likely your animal will just appear and turn up because you're there. It doesn't need anybody else to bring it. It doesn't need anybody else to be recognized with the animal. So, quite often I'm doing a reading and I'll feel something brushing against my leg. I'm aware of a dog in the room, and it's a dog. It's sitting there. It's looking up at you. It looks very much like a cockapoo, or it looks very much like an Alsatian dog, and it's a big dog, yeah. And I'm seeing it. It's black with bits of brown on it. Yeah, we'll sense it, we'll see it, we'll feel its personality, we get information about it, we can sense its relationship with you, its owner. All of that information is there to be gained and gathered. However, if I'm working in a demonstration environment, if I'm working in front of 50 or 100 people, if I'm doing a service or a public demonstration, if I brought through an animal and started describing the animal, there's a fair chance that a lot of people in that audience would know an animal similar. If I'm describing a fairly generic cat, there could be a lot of people in that audience who had a cat who would want to take it. So in order to get that pet placed with the right recipient, it's more common that a person from spirit will come in first to get the link placed. One of your loved ones, your family or friends will come forward from spirit to be recognized. And then having got the medium to the recipient, then the animal will come in and share time and be reunited with the recipient. That's much more likely in a demonstration environment, because if the animal came by itself, it would be a lot harder to place it with many, many people in the audience. So people say, well, if I go to a medium, will my pet definitely come through for me? And this is a difficult one because there's no guarantees. With all mediumship, there's no guarantees of a loved one coming through in any sitting, and it's the same with pets. And I have done a video which I shall link to called Why Has My Loved One Not Come Through? And a whole bunch of the same factors apply to pets. They've got to be available, they've got to want to communicate, the medium needs to be a good fit for the person or the animal coming forward. For pets, the medium has to be open to the idea of animals communicating. The more the medium loves animals, likes animals, the easier it will be to communicate. If they didn't, it'd be harder. So the more a medium likes animals, has experience of animals, the easier it will be for that medium to link to animals and bring them forward from the spirit world. But there's just a whole bunch of reasons why a medium may not be a perfect fit for your pets. So I would suggest you have readings with several mediums, and if necessary, ask the medium, is it possible to connect with your pet? And you may find that is what is needed to create that connection. So I hope you found all this information of use. I hope if you have lost any pets in the spirit world, I do hope that this video gives you some comfort as well. And if you like this video, then please do hit the like button. If you would like to be notified of more of my videos, do hit the subscribe button and the bell. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.